Hey, my friend, this is Stone, and I hope your week is starting off right. I'm in my study right now, and I've been going over my time management plan and trying to rearrange and organize because I'm thinking about adding something that's going to require energy and more time to my schedule. And I have several things in my life, my professional life, that really take time and energy. One is campus ministry. I'm very passionate about that, and I spend quite a bit of time and energy there. Another is my insurance business that I've owned for a very long time, and I spend a lot of time and energy there. The third thing now are these videos that I'm shooting and sending to you each week, and I've been doing that faithfully for about 7 months now. That takes time. And now number four, as thousands of people come on and start watching these videos, I'm getting the question, can we take a deeper dive into productivity and getting stuff done? Is there a course that you have that we can take? And I'm always saying no. And so now I'm thinking of adding to my schedule, just experimenting, toying with the idea, talking to people, seeing what would entail of putting this kind of course together. And so if you've ever felt like you were in a state of overwhelm because you've added something to your schedule, or if you're considering adding something to your schedule now, this video is for you. We're really going to go through the pitfalls and show you how to organize in a way that you don't feel overwhelmed. So if you haven't already, go to stonejordan.info and subscribe. That'll give you these videos every week plus some other goodies in your inbox. And watch this video. I hope you find it contributory. Take care. Hey, my friend, so you've got the big idea. You have something that you know if you were to just do this, it could change your life for the better. It could change the lives of your loved ones for the better. And it could really just make the quality of your life better and allow you to contribute something meaningful to the world. So you're at that point where you're thinking about doing this, or you've done it before and you just haven't given it all of the motivation, all of yourself in order to get it done, then this video is for you, because I'm going to take you through 3 steps that help you to avoid all the pitfalls of, number one, really making the decision if this is the right thing for you to devote yourself to, and then number 2, to lay a foundation to get it done. So let's get started. Number 1 is that you need to do what's called a time and energy evaluation. Now, you think, how do you evaluate both time and energy? And I'm going to give you the metrics for both of those things. Number 1 is you need to do research. And whatever the market is that you're talking about, whatever the idea is that you're talking about, I can promise you there is research online to a certain extent that will allow you to evaluate how much time it's going to take from start to completion. Now, I know that's daunting, that's not a small task, but that's what you need to do. And here's the metric. You compile all this information. With most big ideas, let's say that all of the keys in order to accomplish the big idea, there's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 key things you need to do. You break it down into those keys and you figure out how many hours each key is going to take. Not a small task, but it's something you can do if you do the research. And this is an educated guess. You're not spitballing, but you're not spending forever on it either, okay? You're doing the educated guess. Now, once you've compiled this and you decide how many hours it's going to take, you divide that by weeks. You say, how much time can I devote to this per week? And then you know how long it's going to take in order for you to get it done. Make sense? So that's how you do a time evaluation. Those are the metrics for doing a time evaluation. Now, energy evaluation. This is interesting because this metric is a little more difficult. There's a book by Kelly McGonigal, I think it's called The Science of Willpower, and it explains how different things take more willpower, or let's say energy. One of those things is to make decisions. To make big decisions takes more energy. To make smaller decisions takes less energy, until those daily decisions that you just don't even really think that much about. So in order to determine how much energy something is going to take, now that you've broken down and done your time evaluation and you see what the major keys are and the things you really need to do, you can determine what are some of the big decisions I'm going to have to make, and what are some of the smaller decisions I'm going to have to make, and then again, hone that down to a weekly basis to determine, is this a really energy intensive task? Am I going to have to make some huge decisions in order to get this done? Or is this just a more of, I just got to push through and do it? It really isn't that energy intensive or mental horsepower intensive or decision intensive. So you decide on both energy and time, you evaluate how much of both they're going to take, and then the third part of this evaluation, it's critical. It's where is the energy and time going to come from? There's a concept called the ego depletion, and the concept says that just like any other muscle, willpower or energy can be depleted. There's only a finite amount of it. So you can't just take it from thin air, especially if you're a high achiever. You're already spending a lot of time doing other things that require energy, correct? So you have to decide, where's the time going to come from each week, and where's the energy going to come from, because you've already decided the metrics, how much time and energy per week it's going to take. That's the three things you do to do number one, to complete the energy and time evaluation. If you do that, you are already way ahead of the game, and this is now shaping up to be foundational rather than just I'm going to wing it, which never ends up turning out. Here's number two. You need to have what I call the sit down with loved ones. The reason I call it a sit down and not just communicate or let loved ones know is because you've done the research now. This is something that has become serious. You've devoted the time to it, and you're going to sit down with them and you're going to explain to them, number one, the why. Why is it that you want to do this? Why are you passionate about it? And really let them see that passion and allow them to get on board. Number two, now that you've done your energy and time evaluation, you can let them know how much time and energy it's going to take. But number two really is, how much time and energy is that going to take away from them to hopefully get their blessing? And if you don't have their blessing, then you really have some decisions to make, because nothing is more important. No big idea is going to be more important than family if they are treating it the right way. And if they love you and they just say, I just don't agree with this, that becomes a separate evaluation. And then the third part of the sit down is you basically survey them. You survey your loved ones to tell them, this is my idea, this is the research I've already done. You tell me, what can I do differently, or what should I do with this big idea in order to make it happen faster, so less time, and make it easier, so less energy. So you're basically surveying them. You're basically doing, a test group with your family. But that's really number two, is the sit down, and that's the three parts of the sit down. And then number three, and this is going to seem simple, it's one of those things that's simple but not easy, is you decide. Okay, the word decide comes from the Latin. The word decision comes from the Latin, the same root word as scission, which is like incision, which is to cut off from. Once you decide, that's it. You've cut off any other possibility. And when we were talking about willpower earlier in decision making, and I'm sure you've experienced this before, you have this big idea, but you're not really sure if you're going to go all in or not, right? You got 1 foot on the boat and 1 foot on the dock, and you just haven't decided. What happens is, what you're really doing daily in the back of your mind is you're making small decisions, whether you're going to do it or whether you're not. And that is just a huge drain. And I'm sure you've experienced this, even if you've never verbalized it this way. It just drains you. You don't have the energy anymore. So you decide, you make the decision. Once you've made the decision that you're going to follow this big idea, it's on, and there's two things you need to do. Number one is you take that feedback that you've gotten from loved ones and you course correct. Now you have the idea of how much time it's going to take a week, how much energy it's going to take a week. Now you can add it to your time management plan. You can schedule it on a weekly basis. And once you've done that, my friend, that last part, you have gotten intentional, and you are light years ahead of the other 99%, because this big idea has taken form and it's concrete. If you go through and you do these three things, you're already so far ahead of the game and you're set up for success. So I hope that that big idea you have, that bright light that you have inside you that you want to get out, that contribution that you want to make to the world, you use these 3 steps in order to make it happen. Just go out there and do it. Start today, which reminds me, there's a blueprint at stonejordan.info. If you download that, I've given you a 7-day challenge. Everything I just discussed, you can do in 7 days if you'll just download the blueprint and just do it. Make it happen. And then please leave me a comment below. Let me know if there's anything I missed. What do you need to do in order to accomplish your big idea? What's the number one thing that you need to do? And help me out. Let me know if I've missed anything, or just let me know what you think of this video. And just let me remind you that this week is a gift, my friend. So do 2 things with it. Be both purposeful and productive. Thank you so much. Go get them this week, and we'll see you next time.